Hi, everybody. Happy New Year, and welcome to our numerology live stream where we're going to talk all about what this numerology of 2026 means for you guys. I would love for us to just like discuss the personal year that each of us has. If you guys don't know how to calculate it, I see a couple people already in here. Hey, guys, welcome. And you're leaving your birthdays, but I want you guys to know how to calculate it because it's super important for the future also, right? Like you can calculate past years and kind of reflect, or you can calculate future years. It's so easy too. So all you do is you take your month of birth. So let's say you were born in February. So that would be two, right? Because February is the second month of the year. And just to make it easy, let's say you were born on the 4th. So you would just add the month number, which is 2, and then 4, your day of birth, and then that's 6. And then you'll add the number 6 to any year that you want to know about your personal year numerology for. So for 2026, when you add up 6 plus 2 plus 2, you get 10. In numerology, 0 is just nothing. We just don't even count it. We drop the 0. So that's why 2026 is a one energy year. So if you were born on February 4th, then what you would do is wait, did I say February 4th? Yeah, February 4th. What you would do is you would just add 6 to 1. 6 to 1. So you would be in a 7 year. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's like super simple. Just add up your month number, your day number, keep adding until you get to a single digit, then add it to the digits of the full year that we're currently in or that you want to calculate your personal year for. Okay. So it's super simple, you guys, and it's incredibly accurate. If you guys got a chance to check out the podcast episode, I had a lot of fun making that. And I feel like, wow, I've had so many experiences over the years that have really made me a believer in personal year numerology. It's so crazy. All right, let me check in with you guys. How's everybody's new year? Did you guys have a good start to the year? Anybody do anything fun? Feel free to drop your personal year number in the chat. We would love to see what number everybody's in. I'm in a 1 year in 2026. Very excited for all these fresh starts. Hi. Oh my gosh, looks like we have someone in here who speaks German. Okay, I'm going to do my best to try to like use ChatGPT to translate, but then how do I translate it back? Ooh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. I may have to figure out some sort of translation situation for the future. But I really appreciate you being here. Everybody is welcome, and there might be a way I can figure that out for future. Okay, let's see. Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Alex. Hi, Christine. Yes, Happy New Year, guys. Okay, Jenny says, I'm not sure what my personal year number is, but I'd love to know what this year has in store for me professionally and career wise. I was born 8/21. If that helps. Okay, so for you, Jenny, let's do yours as an example. So let's add up 2 plus 1, because that's your day of birth. So that gives you 3. Let's add that to the number 8. So that's 11. You just add 1 and 1 together to get one digit. So for you, you add 2 to the current year number, which is 1. So you're in a 3 personal year. Okay. That's a year of creativity. That's a year of self-expression. A lot of energy is gonna be coming through this year. 3 is such a fun year. I always really enjoy my 3 personal years because it's just a time when you get to kind of it's kinda like a breath of fresh air type of energy. Like 3s and 5s are kinda similar in that way. It's just kind of an uplifting moment meant to inspire you. It's a good time. It's gonna be a fun year for you. Okay, let's see. Hi, Whitney. How's it going? Welcome. Hi, Shuko. I hope I said that right. Shuko Blast. Shukaloet. Struggling. Hi, Gunyar. How's it going? Personal year 2. Amazing. In a 3 year now. Whitney. Oh my gosh, you're also in a really creative, fun year. Yes. Yes, Monkey Lover. 3 for you as well. Okay, very exciting. Okay, we have someone in a 4 year. Jenny's in a 1 year. Same here. Alex, what year are you in? Oh my gosh, it's Gigi. Gigi, hi. Oh my God. I'm so happy that you're here. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you for clarifying. I wouldn't have known it was you. Happy New Year, Gigi. You think your personal year 4 to this year. Okay, cool. So, what I thought for this live stream is that we can just kind of like chit chat about it. So, if y'all have any questions, like ask away. If you have personal questions, like you want to know, what should I do this year about this or that? Tell me your personal year number and I'll give you my opinion. And then the chat can also weigh in and we can just kind of do, I don't know, just kind of free flowing cosmic chat shared group readings type of thing. So let me know any questions, ask me about your personal year. And then in the meantime, while I'm waiting for people to ask questions, I actually have some celebrity numerology of personal years to kind of, just chit chat about that in the meantime. Hi, Heat Lifer. Oh my gosh. Happy New Year. Heat Lifer. It's going to be a 6 year. That's amazing. Oh my gosh, I love that. You're gonna be in such a positive vibe of like, it's responsibility, but it's also beauty. And also really love 6 personal years because you're always like surrounded by love during that time. Even if you start the year off like not really having a strong community of friends around, I always find that in a 6 year, I attract like new friendships or I get closer to friends or I like end up in these communities where I feel like I always have people around that I'm talking to and having fun with and being creative with. It's like a very nurturing, warm year. So it's really fun. It's really fun. I love a 6 year ruled by Venus, about beauty, creativity. It's a good time. Okay, Dawn is also in a 1 year. Amazing. And then, okay, let me head back up in the chat to Jenny. Jenny, you said that you want to know about career. Okay. So for you, since you're in a 3 personal year, let's talk about what that means for career. I need my little energy drink there. Okay. So career in a 3 personal year is, you know, next year for you, let's say this in 2027, that is going to be the year that you may find a lot of hard work, career growth, solid foundations, the need for more structure because you get busier. All of that's going to come in 2027. In 2026, this is a year where you may face creative changes in your career. Like you may find that you have more than one income stream or you decide to change jobs. 3 is like the social butterfly. So I always find that, if I'm not careful in a 3 energy, whether it's a 3 energy month or a 3 energy year, I find that if I'm not careful, I can get really scattered. So that's like the one downfall. So if you are trying to like change careers or really hone in on career, I would say the positives of the 3 year are that you can really find the right fit based on what makes you feel good because it's about your emotions. It's about growth. It's about being social, meeting new people, trying different things. You may not settle on like the long term plan until 2027. That's kind of when things that are solid click into place. But I will say every single year has its benefits and it leads into the next thing. It's like when you really look at numerology and you study your own numerology cycles and like look back at how everything is like fit together, hindsight's always 2020, right? When you look back, you can see how like for example, in the 3 year, how trying different careers, maybe quitting one job, going to a different one, quitting that job, landing at this other one, which then introduced you to the person that recommended you for this job that is like something you're very passionate about and it's your long-term career from like the 4 year on forward, you find that when you look back, you're like, if I never would have done this, I wouldn't have discovered that I liked that I was interested in that. I wouldn't have met this other person that helped me get to here. So for a 3 year, enjoy the journey, follow your feelings, follow your intuition, follow your creativity, follow, that little voice inside that tells you, go this way or do that. It's a time to be a little bit whimsical, don't be afraid to take a chance in a 3 year. Um, because it is a very like invigorating, fun year. You're kind of like on a stage in a way. So you may find that lots of new opportunities come to you, which is why you can get scattered because it's like there's so much happening, which is a good thing. But, you just have to be very mindful of that. So I would say this year with career, pursue the things that interest you. Um, See what comes your way. Keep your emotions balanced and in check because it's a little bit more of an emotional year, but just trust that as you go throughout this year, more and more structure and clarity is going to come your way. And then by the time you get to 2027, you're going to have a very like strong plan. And 2027 is going to be super busy. 4 years are always very busy. So use this year, enjoy it, embrace the joy, embrace the fun. Don't rush things, but definitely don't sit back on your laurels. Embrace opportunity, get active. This is going to be the year of the fire horse. So we'll talk about that in another podcast episode, but it's definitely a time to be like the Knight of Wands and, go after things, but just kind of go with the flow at the same time. Don't expect things to be concrete yet. And if you get frustrated, just remember in 2027, you're going to look back on 2026 and be like, remember when I was able to be so whimsical? I'm so busy now, So just kind of try to embrace that. I hope that makes sense and helps. If you have any more specific questions, let me know. So, Alex, for you, let's talk about the for personal year. So, like I was just saying, that this is, oh, Whitney, okay, year 3, yes. So everything that I just said also applies to you then, and if you have any more specific questions about the year 3, let me know, you guys. But, for Alex, so like I was just saying, the 3-year leads into the 4-year. Alex, did you find that in 2025 you were, like, able to, I don't know, follow different whims? Did you have more things come into your life that were emotional or creative or more friendships? Like, I always feel like in a 3-year or even a 3-month, I'm, like, on the go. I'm, like, just kind of juggling everything, and there's, like, "Oh, squirrel, squirrel." And then the 4 energy, like, grounds me, and I'm like, "Okay, now I'm gonna, like, follow a routine." And I feel like ready to do that, the 3 prepares you to, like, want to be more solid. So, yeah, let me know. Alex, did you feel like that in 2025, and how are you feeling going into 2024? Are you, like, craving more structure? Because typically, the previous year prepares us for the next one. We're, like, ready. Okay, let's see. So, Whitney, for you, since okay, this is gonna be a really fun year for you because, we know you to be very creative, spiritual. In 2025, you were talking a lot about like wanting to explore different parts of your intuition and like possibly going with your mom to go to this like retreat and like finding new things. This year is going to be more of that. A lot more of that. A lot more of trusting your intuition, meeting people that share the same interests in like the metaphysical and creativity, and this is the year to go into that more and to expand it. You may find that you start some sort of creative business or like a side hustle that really solidifies in 2027. I think that you're going to really enjoy this year based on some of the stuff that we talked about last year. And like I said, I always have a really good time in a 3 energy because I feel like it's exciting and a lot's happening. And I like that, you know? And if you get tired, also listen to yourself. In a 3 energy, similar to a 5 energy, if you get tired, it's okay to rest. Just remind yourself of that. Okay, let's see. Norma says, I'm a Libra with a 5 personal year plus the one from this year. Right. Yes. Okay. So your personal year, that's such a good question, Norma. Thank you for bringing this up. So there is a distinction between your personal year, which is your date of birth and your month of birth added to the current year, and the universal year, which is just like 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6. The universal year talks more about collective themes, like things that we are going to see unfolding politically, with technology, with pop culture, like these kind of like cultural movements and the general like vibe that we sort of notice. So, for example, 2025 being a 9 year, the year of the snake, wow. Like, guys, wow. Whiplash, like, we saw changes. We saw things, especially like, I know in all countries, but in the United States, I can definitely say that I saw some changes and some things that were really like brought into the light. And a 9 year is about transformation and endings. So, like, collectively, I think that a lot of people saw our government in a different light. We saw things coming to an end that it was a little bit scary for these things to come to an end politically and like our safety nets and then we also saw the need for greater transformation. It was a really intense year. So that was like our collective energy. Um it was just sort of intense. Like, I feel like everything that was happening in the media, it was intense. Like, a lot of social media posts. We saw a lot of people who were feeling stressed out. Um, this year is going to be different. This year is about a fresh start. So we can look at last year as being the year of exposing things, shining a light on things. Look at the Epstein files, right? Very nine energy to expose things that have been hidden. Nine is associated with Mars and Scorpio. So, it was like very on point. This year is about where we go from here. Like, what comes next? What is the change that we're going to make based on what we found out last year? And I'll say something that was really interesting and hopeful for me, and I think for so many people, was that Zoran Mamdani, the new mayor of New York, he was sworn in like, that night, like, New Year's. So, that marks that fresh start energy, something new, a change. But for him personally, he's in a 2 year, meaning last year in 2025, he was like rising to prominence in a personal 1 year. So he was campaigning, he was letting people know what his policies are, who he is as a person. 1 years are very much about defining yourself. And that's what we're going to be doing as a country, as a global, family. We're going to be defining more and more what's important to us in 2026. And I think it's much needed, right? We've seen a lot. We've seen a lot. Now it's time to put our money where our mouth is, stand up for the things that we believe in and get moving, basically. So there's going to be a different energy this year, less stagnation, more change, more movement, more growth, more authenticity. And that's really important. So anyway, back to Zoran Mamdani though, I thought it was super interesting that 2025 was about him like defining himself, obviously getting elected, and then was sworn in at the very start of his 2 year. And in a 2 year, that's when you build your team. He was going to hire people and start having to negotiate and get to work. So 1 years are when we define ourselves. 2 years are when we bring in the partnerships, the negotiations, and we're tested a little bit as to, where we stand and how we're going to handle things. Um, Once you bring in another factor, or you introduce another person into your life or into a situation, you got to figure that out, right? So that's what the 2 year is about. It's about our relationships to others, our relationship to the world, how we're going to navigate. The 1 year is more about you defining who you are and what you want. So, in the 3 years, like, I've defined who I am. I am working with other people. I've kind of figured that out. Like, where do I stand when it comes to other people? What do I want for my relationships? Then the 3 year is like, now how do I continue to expand creatively and emotionally? Again, you get to focus a little bit more on what makes you happy in the 3 year. Okay. Alex says, this year I want to definitely have slash create more structure in my life. Perfect. Very four energy. Make things I've been wanting to happen, love it, manifest for years now happen, meet good people, get into a healthy relationship too. That is amazing, Alex. I love that. And I think that the 4 year is absolutely perfect for all those things to happen. Um, Great to start a relationship in a 4 year because anything we start in a 4 year is going to have lasting power. We think about the foundation of a house. I always like to talk about this with four energy. You have those like four walls and they're all leaning on each other. It's like solid. So relationships that we start in a 4 year are solid, especially because we're in a place where we're ready for those things. And we tend to attract other people on that same wavelength. So very promising for relationships, very promising for making things happen. You know, as long as you know what you want, and it sounds like you do, as long as you start moving towards those things, you're going to be putting in place and taking the actions that are just going to get you closer. Have you guys heard of that book, Chop Wood, Carry Water? Basically, the premise is that, like, if you keep working at something, you're going to eventually get to where you want to go. And that is like the definition of the 4 year. It's not flashy, it's not fast, it's not instant, but what it is it's real, it is important, and it's what's gonna get you what you want for the long term. So the way you show up in a 4 year gives you the stability for, like, the rest of that 9 year cycle. So it's a really important, like, tune up year. I said this in the podcast episode, but I'll say it again because I think it's super important. Something I've noticed about a 4 year is that I will always end up looking back to my dreams and goals in the 1 year and be like, okay, how am I going to do things differently now? Is there something I wanna change? Because I look at, like, the 1 year as the seeds that we plant, and then by the time we've watered those seeds and we get to the 4 year, it's like, "Oh, we notice that we actually need to put, like, one of those garden boxes around our garden so that we can have some boundaries, and keep some of the weeds out." And, like, you start to get more particular about tending to what it is that is important to you. Usually that you planted in a 1 year. But you can always change course, obviously, but typically, it's something that we've been thinking of or manifesting or wanting. So, yes, such a good point, Gigi. 4 years are very Saturnian. I agree with you. It's exactly the energy of Saturn. 100%. 100%. And being in Capricorn season right now, I feel like, this is a great time to start those healthy habits, Alex, and to, like, start that structure, that's gonna carry you through the year. Okay, Heat Lifer says, "Britt, can my sixth personal year bring financial stability?" Absolutely, and prosperity. I'm asking for a raise in a year in review meeting, okay, and we'd like to know how you think that might go. Okay, Heat Lifer, um, let's pull, like, an oracle card as well for, like, the energy. Actually, let's pull a Golden Girls card for you wanna know something funny? Heat Lifer, this is not from this reading, this is from a reading that I did, like, I don't know, earlier, and then I just set my deck down. All of my cards are facing this way except for the Ace of Pentacles, which is just sitting on top like this. That alone, it tells me what we need to know. I mean, this is a yes. I mean, it was just, like, right on top. That was for you, obviously. So, okay, let's talk about the sixth energy and why I think that it's an amazing time to ask for a raise. So, the number six is ruled by Venus. Venus is associated with the zodiac signs of Libra and Taurus. Now, when we think about Libra and Taurus, we think about harmony, abundance. You know, when things are beautiful, and when people are able to be harmonious and, like, orderly, typically that's because you have everything that you need, right? The times that we feel more chaotic in our lives are usually when we feel like we don't have enough. We don't have enough money. So that means we don't have enough time to get to all the things that we need to get to. And it's just like, I mean, I've been there. Probably a lot of you guys can relate too. It's like you just feel like, oh, I'm juggling so much. This is incredibly stressful. Well, because Libra energy is about harmony, Librans have a really great way of figuring out how to navigate that and get to a harmonious space. So I feel like for that energy, like, you kind of can bring in resources and money so that you can have that harmony more easily. And same thing with Taurus, ruled by Venus. Taurus people are known for being able to create wealth. And once they have that, they love their leisure time. Well, you can't be leisurely if you don't have the resources and the money to sustain yourself, right? So I would say, with that being the case, the 6th year is probably the 6 year or the 8 year are like the best years, I think, to ask for a raise. Um, I think that with this in particular, like with the 6 year in particular, I would lead with thoughts of like abundance, leaning in to what you need, um, being harmonious in your delivery. I don't know if this makes sense to you or if this is helpful or not, but this is just like what's coming to mind. Because anytime in a 6 year you try to create connection or, balance, like, if you feel like you're giving more than what you're receiving, because the 6 year is associated with Libra, which is the zodiac sign of harmony and balance, right? It's like equal give and take. If you focus on that in your mind and you just have this intention of, I'm asking for this raise because I know that this will create a more balanced, mutually beneficial partnership. Like, if I get this money, I know I'll show up better for my work. And I also know that, they will be providing me with what I need. So it's like going to be a really positive, beneficial thing for both of us. So I would frame it like that. Definitely drop any fear thoughts, even though I think anytime we ask for a raise, like that's a normal thing that comes up. Like, is it going to happen? Is it not? Some people are great at asking for things like that. Some people struggle with it more. Um, Wherever you fall, I would just say make sure that your focus is on what you need to create more harmony and balance. Think balance, think harmony, and then also trust that what you ask for, it's going to come your way. It really will. The 6 year wants you to have what you need so that you can stress less, focus more on friends, community. Also, because it's a Venus year, we typically do get more money coming in so that we can have extra money to spend on Venus things like whatever you enjoy, like, it could be, a new couch or going to a hair salon or designer makeup, like whatever it is that makes you feel Venusian, like makes your life feel beautiful. You're typically going to get those resources to give you that experience in a 6 year. So I think absolutely perfect. And you've got this. It's going to be good. Rooting for you, rooting for you. Okay. Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. Wow, that's how I was going to approach it. Confirmation. Amazing. See? Oh my gosh. What's also so crazy, like just like Alex said, that, you were ready, Alex, for more structure and to like bring these manifestations into your real life. Isn't it interesting how when we get to the start of our personal year, it's like we already do have these thoughts. Um, we're right in that exact energy that we're supposed to be in. That's why, like, anytime I get anxiety or I get stressed about something, I just remind myself that, like, hey, I don't understand the full picture yet because it's not the end of the story. So it's like I remind myself, like, okay, this is my personal year. These are the overarching themes. And I know that everything is working out for my benefit. So, like, I will say that stuff and remind myself of how these things flow. Um, that's also maybe like, as a Virgo, I have to. As a Virgo, I have to remind myself of those things. But yeah, I do feel like it's confirmation heat lifer. I love it. It's gonna go very well. We believe. Okay, let's see. Gunyar says, yes, Happy New Year, Gunyar. Okay, my year number is 2. I'm a Taurus. What can it bring to me from romance, career, and wealth perspectives? New relationships, maybe. I'm searching for a new job and I am single. Okay, fantastic. So I love this for you, Gunyar, because just like what I was just saying, we get into the headspace that we're supposed to be in. You're thinking about relationships, you're thinking about a new job. Well, isn't that perfectly aligned with your 2 personal year? And here's why. So last year, in your 1 year, that was the year that you were focused on who you are, your identity. Um, how do you want to show up in the world? You may have been tested in different ways to like, are you going to be honest about who you are? Are you going to hide yourself? Like, a lot of themes that have to do with like our person, just that singular I am energy come up in the 1 year. And then by the time you get to the 2 year, it's like, okay, I've done that. I did the work. I get it. I know who I am. I know what makes me happy. For a relationship, you're like, I know who I am. So I feel ready to meet somebody because I now can easily tell who is right for me and who isn't because I know myself better. So, a great time in a 2 year to get into a new relationship, similar to the 4 year. Relationships we start in a 2 year can be incredibly long lasting. And that is when we meet that other. It's like you're the one, and now you're going to add the two. We're going to add that other. The one thing that you have to stay really mindful of in the 2 year is that you continue to have like healthy boundaries and you bring with you all the lessons of the 1 year. As long as you do that and you stay balanced in your relationship, you can have an incredible relationship in a 2 year. But I will say this, the universe wants us to always bring forth the lessons from last year. So when you meet people in the 2 year, and you may meet a lot of people, there may be a couple of people that you find, you could possibly date. Honestly, you probably will, because that's kinda how it works. It's like the universe starts sending people your way to be like, "Okay, it's time for you to be in a relationship, so pick one." The thing to pay the most attention to is, how does this person make me feel? What is my intuition telling me? Do I feel good around this person? Do I feel like I can be myself? Um, do they make me feel happy to be myself? Or on the other hand, like, do I feel a little bit uncomfortable around this person? Do I feel like I might need to change myself? Am I a little more anxious around this person? So asking yourself those questions is super important, and making sure that you bring with you into this new relationship everything that you've discovered about yourself in 2025. Okay, so that's kind of the relationship angle. But yes, I think you will have many opportunities to get into a relationship. A 2 year is always when people start showing up in your life because the universe wants you to, practice the art of relationship. That's kind of what two energy is about. Britt, are you doing private readings? So right here, Whitney, I want us to like talk about everything and you can like ask any question. But if people want to do a private reading, funny you should ask, I am going to be offering those like for a very limited time, like through the 11th. Just taking on as many as I can handle, and then I'll do like a cutoff. But I'm basically going to do, hold on, I wrote it down and I'll post about this on the community tab as well. So, okay. And I do end up spending like a lot of time on these. So, um, I settled on, let's see, $55 for an MP3 reading, and there's no time limit on those. Um, I don't want to give a time limit. It'll be minimum 30 minutes, but it could go 45 to an hour because what the readings will be is basically like your personal year reading, going month by month into each month, and how they're going to continue to build on each other. So it's basically your personal year, then your personal month for the 12 months of the year, then a tarot card for each month as well. So that is an audio only reading. That's $55. And then if anybody wants like a video reading like this, like a tarot tea time, those are 150, and that will be same thing, 30 minutes plus, and it'll just be, with visuals of like being able to see the cards and all of that. And if you want that, just email me at britcardsandstars@gmail.com. And again, I will post this in the community tab because I was thinking about this today. I was like, I want to offer this. I've had one other person reach out to me about it. And yeah, it's just kind of the perfect time to get a reading this time of year. So if you're interested, that's what you guys can do. That's what I'm offering. But I know that that's expensive, and I just price it like that because of my time. I just don't have a ton of time to do things, but that I can justify. So yeah. And if not, then we'll just chat about it here and you can ask me whatever questions you want. So hopefully, that was my way of trying to like be able to offer that to everyone in some way, whether you want to do the full reading or just like the little one. Okay. But thank you for asking, Whitney. Okay. So that was your relationships, Gunyar. And now let's see, when we look at your career and wealth. Okay. For career and wealth in a 2 year, the 2 year is a really good time to work with others. So depending on like your current situation, okay, you're searching for a new job. Okay. So I'll say this. Yes, you can attract a new job. You may end up getting a new job through a referral, like from a friend or from a place that you hang out. Like I'm telling you, people just show up. It's so interesting. And you'll have to, you guys, report back when you start to see these things change. Like just drop it in the chat in our next live stream because it'll happen. Um, I would say yes, put it out there, have that in your mind, write it down and just know that this is the right time to attract a new job, new things. You are attracting basically the other to come in for you to work with. And that can be working with a job or a workplace. If you've been alone or you've felt lonely, that's going to be over this year. You're going to be around people. You're going to be working on relationships and also working on relationships with coworkers is another theme. So you have to have a job to be able to do that, right? So I would say, yes, a great time to get a new job, get an additional side hustle, something like that. Definitely have faith and keep putting yourself out there because one of them will hit. And the right one will, the right one that's going to help you to grow in the ways that you want to grow, not just financially, but also spiritually, with this personal year. So you may find that you have interesting connections with coworkers, um, learning a lot about how to work well with others and all these themes of partnership and like, how does that work? How am I going to be successful in partnerships? You know, Sometimes you work on communication style this year. Sometimes you learn about the people that you don't want to work with, and then that drives you towards the people that you do. So, yes, a great time for that. Really, really interesting for all that. Yes. Thank you, Norma. So it's Brit, BRIT, cards and stars at gmail.com. Brit, cards and stars at gmail.com. Actually, why don't I write it in the chat? Hello. I had to make sure I don't have any typos. Okay, perfect. And if you're just tuning in now, this is not a typing show. Okay, so that is kind of what's going on for you. I feel like it's going to be attracting all the things that you're talking about, though. Absolutely. Let's see, career and wealth perspective. Okay, when it comes to wealth, so if we look at every single year as building on the last, I would say this: the 2 year is a good year to have more income coming in. I would say that it may, I mean, you never know. Think positive. It may not be your peak financial year, but absolutely you'll be having more money come in because you'll be like working with others, right? And that's how we generate money. We get into the flow of things. Um, we get into the energy of working with other people, give and take, and that includes financial flow, money. So it's also like, how can I provide something and then that's going to give me back my, basically in exchange for what I'm providing. Two energy is like pretty, when it comes to money, I would say you got to kind of think about like from that perspective, like what am I providing? Because two is a support number. So I would approach things from like, what am I providing that is supportive for this, for this endeavor, for this company, for this coworker? And then how can they support me? Like that's kind of how you want to frame it. Similar to what I was saying about the six energy. It's about creating like mutual support. So yes, absolutely. You can build wealth. Um, it's also about that, like, steady building. I find that if you're getting a new job, it's possible that you could be, like, that entry level in a 2-year, but then you get to a 3-year and you start to expand, so you get, like, a raise the next year. The 4-year, again, potential for a raise, along with more responsibility. So, look at it like stepping stones, okay? 2 is definitely one of the more, like, initial stepping stones, but continue to aim high. Your stepping stone can be higher than you think, but keep it realistic at the same time. It is a time to kind of, like, provide and work and work with others and have patience. So, yes, you can grow, but think like the Knight of Pentacles. The slow and steady wins the race card. The Knight of Pentacles is probably like that 2 energy. They're bringing something, they're not expecting things to happen right away, but it's stable and it will keep growing. So that's kind of those are my thoughts on that 2 energy. Oh, yay, Whitney. Okay, amazing. How fun. I can't wait to do your reading. Okay, let's see. I hope that answered all your questions, Gunyar, before I move on. Let me see. Yeah, and I have connections in that field, but I'm getting shy. Oh, to ask something about it, but I guess I should be more bold and active about it. Well, I will say this about that. I can also be shy about things. Gunyar, I totally get it. Like it's not something that comes easily to everybody, right? Sometimes it can feel awkward to ask for what you need or, you know, put yourself out there in certain ways. That is part of the 2-year theme though. So last year and the 1 year, you may have felt more like you were figuring yourself out, deciding what you want to do, able to be independent more comfortably. Well, this year, it's about putting yourself into situations where, you get more comfortable asking. So, yes, that makes sense that you're feeling like that. And that's very normal and totally understandable. But I would say just trust that the 2 year is about growing in that area, being able to ask others for what we need. If for example, if you know that you are going to do your very best at a job and that you're going to be reliable and you're going to be the kind of person like that Knight of Pentacles that you would want to hire because you're going to be reliable. You're going to show up. You're going to do your best. If you don't know something yet, you're going to learn it. That's all we can ask for, right? When it comes to an employee. So think about how you are that employee. You are someone who's going to be providing a lot of benefits. So when you ask, just keep in mind that you're also giving them something. Like, hi, would you give me this opportunity? But as you ask that, you also know that I'm going to be somebody that you can count on. I'm the kind of person that you're going to pay, but you're also going to get a lot out of it. And I feel good about that. So just remember your worth in the situation as well. And that's where that 2 balance comes from, right? The 2 energy is you being you and having that strong self worth. And then also you seeing what somebody else needs, what they want, honoring that, respecting that, and being like, okay, you're going to get that, but I'm also this. So it's like we have a mutual partnership. Um, Also, like assertive communication, that can also be helpful. I don't know. I think it also just takes practice. You know what I mean? Sometimes like something is just gonna feel scary until we do it. But just know that this being the year of the fire horse, like no time like the year of the fire horse. So just jump on that horse and ride it. You got this. I will say you're gonna feel better once you do it. I always feel tons better once I get through a fear. So you can do it. You got this. Let's see. Donna says, my personal year is 1. What can I see medically for me? Okay. Are you talking about medically, like with your own personal health? Because if that's what you're talking about, the 1 year is associated with our physical body. And during a 1 year, you are encouraged to take really good care of yourself. So, like eating healthy and, working out and taking your vitamins and learning more about your health and your body. And all of those things are very, very much supported. The 1 year is a very strong year for health. If you have any health issues, a 1 year is a great time to solve those problems, to get to the bottom of things. Um, you can really heal yourself in a 1 energy year because, oh, and with the help of doctors, of course, and professionals. But the 1 year is a year when we are supposed to focus on ourselves, including that physical body. So it's associated with Aries, the 1 energy, and like Aries is incredibly like physically strong. Think about a warrior. Even if a warrior takes a hit, they're going to get right back up. So for you, if you're talking about your own personal health, I would say, yeah, face it head on. tackle any health issues. Know that you are strong this year. This is the year that you are going to be at your healthiest. Yeah, focus on that. Be very proactive about it. A great year to get healthier, to heal, to find the solutions to anything that's been bothering you. And most importantly, to do things like, build muscle and take care of yourself for the sake of longevity. We're setting ourselves up in a 1 year for the next, all the way through this 9-year cycle. So the habits we start now, our health, our wellness, like all of that is going to set us up for the following years. So yeah, get good with that right now. And I'm on the same journey, friend. I'm also in a 1 year and I'm like, I was looking up some new workout classes to try that are actually fun. I think I'm going to try a dance cardio class, like getting back to focusing on my health and wellness too. So I'm right there with you. We got this. Okay, let's see. Mm, Okay, Gunyar was asking about Taurus and the goat year. Tauruses and goat years this year is financially abundant and money flows. I want it to be so true. Okay, yes. Well, then it will be true. Absolutely. Think that, stay with that, and then keep putting yourself out there because I will say this, that is the one way to get to what you want. In a 2 year, you do need others. You, you need others. And it's okay. Just remember, like, and even if somebody says no or they can't help you, think about like how you feel when somebody asks you for help. Like, doesn't it make you feel good? It makes me feel good. Like, if somebody asks me for help and I can actually help them, like, it makes my heart feel happy. I'm like, "Oh, I'm so glad I could do that." Like, that makes me so happy. Like, I feel so good that I was able to do that. So, remember that you're also, like, giving that feeling to other people. And if somebody can't help you or if they don't want to or they're kinda weird about it, that's okay. Just keep it moving because in a 2 year, there will be other people that help you. And if this is a financially flowing year, trust that. Amazing. I love that extra context for you with the Chinese zodiac. So, amazing. Absolutely. Okay, Heat Lifer says, "Are one personal years good for changing jobs and career?" Oh my gosh, yes. And career opportunities. My daughter is looking to change jobs this year. This is the year. Oh, I'm so excited for her. Heat Lifer. Yes. The 1 year is about like putting your line in the sand and like, yes, sometimes a one personal year, people will be surprised. So let me say this. My last one personal year cycle, I think I've told you guys this before, but it's just this is why I believe in numerology so much. So when I look back at my last one personal year, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I had like moved back in with my parents. I was doing sideline reporting, covering the Dallas Cowboys, which was good. That was like career growth. But like I didn't have like the money to do my career of like trying to grow as a TV host and continue to pay rent. So I moved in with my parents. And this was like sort of before people were doing that. I feel like that's more normal now. Like, 9 years ago, it was a little whatever. But hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? So I did that. And in the full 9 personal year that I was in, I lived there and I just was sort of like letting go of like I could say no to certain jobs. I was figuring out like what I'm good at when it comes to TV hosting. And long story short, by the time I got to the one personal year, I felt very confident about like what I wanted in my career. And I was able to, like I said, say no to certain things because I wasn't worrying about paying bills, thankfully, because I was able to live with my parents. Then the 1 year hit, and I ended up getting the opportunity to host my own TV show, which I still have now. That started in the one personal year. By the way, that opportunity surprised me. I think it surprised people around me, because it was just kind of like something that was a big change, and it was the 1 year. So, yes, absolutely. If your daughter wants to change careers in a 1 year, the best time, because last year she figured out what she wants to keep, what she doesn't, what fits, what doesn't, and then the 1 year is the time to start something new. 100%. It is the time to plant the seed of something new. So, yes. Oh, I'm so excited for her. I feel like it's gonna be good. Because also what we start in the 1 year typically is what, like, we really want, you know? So good. Okay, Donna says, "What can I expect health-wise?" Okay, wait, yes. Told you about the health. Donna says, "Yes, thank you, Britt." Okay, Donna, I am rooting for you. You've got this. You've got this. Honestly, the 1 year is like the strongest year because you're strong. You're focused on you. You're the warrior. You've got this. Good. I'm glad that made you feel better. Okay, let's see. Alex says, I can be shy as well about certain things. Oh, I know. My God, you guys, me too. It's hard. Like, it is hard. I feel like shyness sometimes about certain things is just one of the biggest hurdles. And the only way to get through it is just to do it. And then the more we do it, the easier it gets, right? It's like it becomes, I don't know, it's just like anything else. It's like riding a bike. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. So we just kind of have to force ourselves. As they say, one of my friend Jen says, closed mouths don't get fed. She's a Gemini with a Capricorn rising. She does not have trouble speaking up. So I've learned a lot about her or from her about how to do that. And if you do it in a way that's kind and you genuinely have something to bring to the table, people appreciate it. People appreciate it. So just think about, what am I bringing to the situation? How can I provide um, more? How can I help this person? And then ask for what you need. You know, there's another saying. It's like give, ask. I don't know, like give first, then ask, that kind of thing. But yeah, as long as you keep it balanced, I think most people, the kind of people that we want to be around anyway, are people that, if they see that you are a genuine person, that they'd be happy to help you, you know? So we got this. We're going to get better this year about that. Manifesting. Okay. May I know about my career? My birthday is 7th of March, 1986. Okay. So we're going to add 3 for the month of March to the number 7. That's 10. So that is a 1 energy. So we're going to add 1 to the current year, 2026, which is going to give us a 2 year. So you are also in a 2 personal year. What that says about your career is that you are going to be now bringing in all the things that you learned last year about yourself and about what you want and who you are. And you're now going to be challenged in certain ways to collaborate with other people, to grow with other people. Like I was saying, you know, the universe in a 2 year brings you a lot of opportunities to work with others because you're focused on, how do I create harmony? How do I still get what I want? How can I be a good partner, but also still good to myself, honoring my lessons from last year? And how can I just keep growing personally, professionally? Um, 2 is like really, really good for continued building, typically on what we started last year. Do you have any like specific questions about your career? I do think that this is a good time to, focus more on, like I said, collaborations and partnerships and teamwork when it comes to career. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Gunyarm. Good. You are open and chances, and yes, amen. It's going to happen. I love to hear that. Okay. Please advise, in which month of 5 personal can I bring good and committed partner? Thank you. Okay. So we always want to look at, um, let's see, a 2 month, a 4 month, a 6 month. Those are like I mean, and you can meet the right person anytime, right? But I feel like 2, 4, 6 are just the vibrations that typically will bring us progress in that part of our lives. Um, let's see. 5 personal years, let me say this also. So if you're in a 5 personal year, this is the year of a lot of dating, romance. I talked about this on the podcast episode where I use like Taylor Swift as an example. 2023 was a 5 personal year for her. It was the year that she started the Eras tour. She went on tour, she was traveling. She also said in the Eras tour documentary that she had 2 breakups during the Eras tour. That was during a 5 year. So I will say this, no guaranteed, like, you know, you always have to just kind of take things as they come. Numerology can tell you about the themes, but not about exactly what's going to happen. I will say this though. when you're in a 5 year, you just want to be open. You want to be open to meeting people. You want to also connect with people that bring you joy. It's a great time to have really joyful connections. Five energy is about the five senses, it's about travel, it's about fun, our inner child. So it's more of a year of dating than commitment. But I will say this, when you meet somebody that you can have a lot of fun with, um, that can grow into the sixth personal year. And that is the year when we take on more responsibility and commitment, and you can have like a really strong partnership. Again, you can meet somebody during the 5 year. So, for example, Taylor met Travis during the 5 year, but she was also in a period of time where she was really focused on finding her happiness, her creativity. She did go through 2 breakups that year. So it was like the 5 year is gonna bring you a lot of change. So I would have the mindset of like, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna meet people, and I trust and I believe that the right person, I'm gonna know it when it comes along, that type of thing. So stay optimistic and stay in a lighthearted energy of having fun and being authentic. Think about your inner child and that joy. Um, yeah, and look for people that bring you that joy or that support that joy in you, if that makes sense. I would say don't think too hard about it, and that's when it will happen. Like, for example, okay, again, like I with the Taylor Swift example, she said that like the last person that she expected was Travis Kelce to be like the person that she committed to. She even said that like he was not her usual type. So be open to people that might not be your usual type, but people that bring you fun, joy, that make you laugh. Um, Expect the unexpected during a 5 year, but trust that you are in a cycle of love and romance. The 5 year and the 6 year are all about, um, like the 5 year is like finding the people that bring you the joy and having a lot of fun. And you might feel very glamorous this year. You may have a lot of attention and eyes on you this year. Typically, a lot of people will be asking you out. Like that's the 5 year. Um, and then that romance will typically find a place to settle for the 6th year when you experience commitment. So you're in a good cycle for it. Yes, you are attracting a partner and have fun with it because this is a really good time for that. I hope that helps. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. You guys, I'm so glad that the numerology is making you feel confident. That's amazing. Gunyar says, yes, I like helping other people. And if someone helps me, surprisingly, even if it is a minor thing, it makes me so happy, right? Yes, yes. And we're all the same like that, right? So just trust. Okay, what would be my personal year? 6-2. Okay, so if you were born on 6-2, let's add 6 and 2. So that's 8. And then let's add 8 to the personal year 1. So you're in a 9 personal year. And that means that you're in a period where you are kind of sorting through things. You're seeing what you want, what you don't want. I was in that 9 year last year. It's a year of creativity, a year of healing. If you guys haven't listened to the podcast episode yet, pop up. Why can I not talk? Oh my God. Excuse me. Pop over there after this and click on the timestamp for your personal year. I give I think it's like a 10-minute overview of each one. And you can like get more in-depth information about it because it is just like the 9 year is a time of healing and unexpected healing and transformation. It's a spiritual year. It's a very important year. You may do a lot of reflecting this year, but I will say go with the flow. You will be supported this year. The 9 year is a year of support. It's a great year to be involved in a community of like-minded friends, join a cause or a group or a class of some sort. The 9 energy definitely supports furthering your learning. Um, it's just such a time to expand your mind, to be able to think clearly, think more deeply, and expand yourself, yeah, in a very spiritual way. It's a year of like productive rest, is what I would say, because you're going to still be doing things, but you're going to be going deeper into different things in your life. And that'll mean something different for everybody, but you're going to be refining your life. making a lot of choices about where you want to go, what you want to do. And it'll be very active, but then there is a certain amount of like solitude that you'll also need some downtime, some rest. And all of this is really in preparation to start a brand new cycle, which will be 2027 for you, the start of a 1 year. So tie up loose ends this year. Don't rush anything. Take care of the things you need to take care of. It's a great year to, like, pay off debts and, you know, organize your house, decide what you wanna do about different things in your life. Like I said, take a class, like, it's a really good year. I love this 9 energy. Enjoy it. The 1 energy is gonna be really busy for you, so if you ever feel like the year's going too slow, just remind yourself the next year you're gonna be like a rocket ship, so enjoy it, enjoy the slower pace, um, get in touch with yourself spiritually, but yeah, it's, like, very much about emotions, spirituality, all that good stuff, but yeah, it's a really nice year. I really like it. I like a 9 energy. Okay, Gretel says 316. Okay, so we're gonna add 6 plus 1, which is 7, plus 3, that's a 1. So you're also in a 2 year when we add that to 2026. So we have a lot of 2 energy people in here, you guys. That's so interesting. Um, wow, a lot of 2 energy. So a lot of you guys are actually building on things that you started last year. You know, the 9, if we look at the 912 cycle, the 912 cycle of years is like you were refining during the 9 year, you were getting more spiritual, getting more emotionally in touch, more creative, tying up loose ends. Some people graduate that year or decide that they want to make a change in their life. A lot of things happen in that 9 year of transformation. Then you guys had that 1 year where last year you guys were like figuring out more about who you are, what you want. Now this year is like, okay, I had that like fork in the road last year. I made certain decisions based on what I want. And now in the 2 year, I'm going to be building on those choices that I made. So that's now attracting partners, attracting resources, just kind of growing and expanding. Think about the number one, it's like a loan. And then the number two, it's like you got more, So you're growing, you're on that same path. Of course, you can change paths at any time, you're not locked in. But typically, we'll find that we sort of end up naturally flowing through just building on what we did last year. So you're building, you're growing, slow and steady wins the race this year. It's an important year for like discernment, diplomacy. You may end up feeling like a little politician this year in your own life because 2 energy, it's like you've got to make sure that things are balanced, like, everybody's happy. There may there may need to be like some times where you're mediating, but you're really learning a lot about dynamics, like human dynamics, how people can work together to create something greater than just one. So yeah, definitely a year of growth, a lot of growth, forward movement. Kinda reminds me of oh my gosh, yes, Gretel, such Taurus energy. Growing abundance, building yes, exactly. So much so. It is. You may also find another fun thing that I don't know if I mentioned about the 2 energy. Like I said, you'll be attracting partners, you'll be attracting new people into your life, but you'll also be attracting people who wanna help you, supportive people, like, just randomly. You may find that you meet people that just, like, wanna be your friend, or you may find that you meet people that you just kind of have, like, the same interests, like, you just click. Um, it's a year when your social circle will expand as well. It's a really nice year. It's a pleasant year. I've always enjoyed 2 energy as well. It's really nice. Yes, of course. Oh my gosh. I hope you enjoy it. Alex says, "Is the sound?" No, the sound's going out. You guys stop. Alex, thank you for telling me. No, we can hear Brett. Okay. Guys, I'm sorry, Alex. I hope it's not. I don't know what it is. Hopefully it comes back. Okay, good. But yes, if you ever see a technical issue, guys, please always bring it up so we can figure out what's going on. Um, okay, good. Well, I'm glad it's okay now. Oh my gosh, hello from Australia. Hello. Oh my gosh, I love Australia so much. We always talk about Australia over here and how we want to go back or how we would move there in a heartbeat. How are you doing? What is your personal year number? Do you know? Let's see. Camelita. Okay. Sometimes I have to look closer to be able to read it. Welcome, Camelita. Okay. Gunyar says her year is 7, his year is 8. And when I listened to your explanation for this year, I thought about it and said, yeah, breakup is happening because their year themes are not matching. Ooh, so something very interesting about that. Gunyar. Oh, wait, you asked another question. Hold on. Gunyar said, can we also look at the personal years for celebrities in some live video? Yes. Okay. So we're already at an hour now, but I will definitely do another video about celebrity numerology and what their personal years are and predictions. Cause I feel like that's a fun way to continue to learn more about themes and things that could happen in a personal year. And then also, little fun hot goss as we like to do. Okay, but Gunyar, you said, I also commented in your recent personal year video about Luke and Antonia breakup potential, which is highly likely this year. Okay, so a 7 and an 8 energy. Let's talk about that. And let's talk about how things can match up or not match up with the people in our lives. That's really an interesting thing that you brought up. And it is significant. Um, Now, when you're married, so for example, my husband and I, obviously, we're married and we love each other and we're committed. So regardless of what year he's in or what year I'm in, we're going to navigate those roads together. But we may find that things are a little bit different. We're spending more time on what's important for him, and then it balances itself out over time, right? Marriage, life, love, it's about give and take. So, for example, last year, he was in a 1 personal year, I was in a 9 personal year. So, he had a lot of activity going on, in his career, um, just a lot was happening for him. In my 9 year, a lot was happening for me too, because you guys know me. I have millions of things going on just because that's how I like it. Just because I'm, Gemini ruled 5th house. What can I say? Um, but I also was going through different things, more emotional things, like reconnecting with a family member, which I talked about in the podcast episode. And so for me, a lot of things were happening, but a lot of it was internal. So we were talking more this past year about things I was going through. So he was supporting me there. And then I was supporting him with work stuff because he was really tired. He had a ton of cases this past year. So it's you just kind of have to figure that out with your partners. And it's so good to know what personal year is my best friend in, what personal year is my mom in, what personal year is my husband in, or my wife, or whatever it is. It's helpful because you can be more mindful of what they're going through. And then also, let them know what year you're in too. It's such a good tool. So if there's a 7 and 8 energy, doesn't mean that it's not going to work out. That's not an automatic breakup type thing. But I'll say this, the challenges there are more significant because the 7 year is spiritual, it's introspective, it's a year when we can find ourselves um in a way similar to the 1 year, but it's like the 1 year but internal. So the 1 year you're out in the world doing things and establishing yourself. The 7 year you're coming back home to yourself. After a 6 year of being really about community and harmony and Venus energy and really social. The 7 year, you're kind of tired and you're okay, I need some quiet time behind the scenes. I just want to kind of go to a little cottage and I want to read a book and I want to have my dog curl up next to me in front of the fire and I want to do some journaling and I want to dream about, what I want to come next for me. You kind of have to go into more solitude to hear yourself think. And that's of course in preparation for the 8 year, which is very much about abundance, being on the stage and the year of rewards and, the material world. So it's all balanced. But you can imagine if one person's in a 7 year and they're behind the scenes and they're sitting in front of the fire and journaling and trying to figure out what fulfillment means to them and philosophizing about life, that's going to have a really different vibe from the person who's in their 8 year, who is probably in that powerhouse energy. It's the year of the CEO, regardless of what you do, for a living. Um, you're gonna be more structured in an 8-year, you're gonna have more things going on. You're gonna find in an 8-year that what you built the foundation of in your 4-year, Alex, I'm talking to you, you're gonna find that those things that you really, like, put that elbow grease into in your 4 personal year, like, you thought they were growing, you saw them growing, quietly over time, but in 8-year, it's like you get a breakthrough, you get a windfall. You finally see proof that everything you've been doing, like, it was for a reason. It's a really good year. It's a good year for, like, the material world. It's a good year to make more money and feel more established in yourself and your career, more confident. Um, so yeah, one person is feeling confident and on the stage and focused on making money and investing and growing in the world. And the 7 person is like, "Wait, what? Like, hold on, I can't think about all that right now, like, I'm actually trying to have quiet time." And the person in the 8-year is like, "I was just in that energy, like, I'm just not in the mood to be in that energy anymore, like, I learned all the things I needed to. I need to get out there." So, yes, there can be a lot of tension there, and it takes a lot of, mutual respect to, like, navigate that because people just have different needs at those times. You know what I mean? Um so yeah, interesting. Okay, so Kimalita, for you, let's see, 28 2. Okay, so that is so you're let's see, 3 plus 1. So you're in a 4-year also. Wait, did I do that right? That's 10. Okay, yes, 4. And now we do basic math together. Okay, so Camelita, the 4-year is basically like what I was just saying about how the 8th year you're gonna look back and be like, I am getting the rewards for what I built in the 4-year. So for a 4-year, this is what I would do. If I was entering into a 4-year, I'd be like, okay, I would sit down with like my notebook and I would think about how I want like the next few years to go. Like what do I want out of my life? Because the 4-year, you're like strengthening that foundation of what's to come. I would figure out what's most important to me. I would set some goals and then I would get really specific about where to start. Like, what's the first step I can take today to get closer? Or what does my life need to look like? What does my daily routine need to look like realistically, like you also don't want to burn yourself out because a 4-year is pretty busy. Like you're working hard. So you have to stay balanced. You want to build a strong foundation, not only for your career and for the outer world, but for yourself, for your health. So it's a year when being like, boring feels good after a 3-year of maybe feeling a little bit burned out from being so social or kind of scattered or just more emotional. This year is less about the feels. It's less about like the creativity and the emotion. It's sort of like, okay, I'm ready to get stuff done this year. And like what do I need to do to get those things done? It's a good year to get into a routine, focus on like like I'm talking like back to basics. Think the foundation of wellness. It's like health. What vitamins do I need to take? What time should I be getting up? What time do I need to go to bed? Um, how many days a week should I be going out and seeing friends? How many days a week should I stay home? Like, what day should I do my laundry on? Like, it sounds boring, but honestly, think about when you feel your best. Like, I feel my best when my life feels in order. I can enjoy myself more when I feel like everything's in place and I have like a sense of security. So that's what the 4 years about. It's about being like, what can I do this year that I'm going to thank myself for later? It's the elbow grease. Um, somebody mentioned earlier that it's sort of like Capricorn energy. So think about that goat climbing up the mountain, it's like I'm just going to keep taking one step and putting it in front of the other and having that determination to be, my most disciplined self. Because it will be like it will pay off so much. It really will. I promise you. I promise you. And if you ever get to where you're like, I'm feeling kind of tired or I'm feeling kind of bored, um, just know that that's going to all be cured next year in your 5-year. You're going to be experiencing so much change, so many new things, so many random like experiences that where you're going to be like, oh, I get to go on a trip or I get to do this. Like things will just drop into your life in your 5 year. But if you didn't lay a really strong foundation in 2026 in your 4 year, you'll feel like you can't fully enjoy those things next year. Okay. So this year, you're like cleaning up your act, getting serious. Um, you're going to balance your budget. You're going to dot your I's, cross your T's. You're going to be your healthiest, strongest version, most mature version of yourself. And that is going to set you up for the rest of this cycle, for years 4 or years 5 through 9. Okay. So you got this. You got this. You are strong. Oh my gosh. You're so sweet. A super sticker. That's so kind. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Camelita, that is so kind. Thank you. Thank you. That's honestly just so sweet. Very much appreciated. Okay, let's see. Gunyar says, yes. Oh my gosh. She also said if his current partner can't catch his energy this year, which seems like she doesn't. Well, I'll say this. Luke, Luke's in an 8 year, right? I do have him on my celebrity list. Yeah, Luke's in an 8 year. So he's going to be, this is like a breakout year for him. I mean, into the stratosphere he goes, you know, new roles that bring him into the spotlight. Oh my gosh, speaking of new roles, you guys, I have to tell you this. So crazy. So random quick side note. I went to see The Housemaid today, that movie. If you guys haven't seen it, you got to see it. And I'm not going to say a word because I don't want to ruin anything. It's so good. I'll just say I didn't expect the ending, okay? I'll say nothing else. But this is so crazy. So I'm watching the movie, and who do I see on the screen but my old acting friend, Amanda Erickson, who was playing the role of one of the bitchy rich ladies, like one of the gossiping rich ladies. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, that's Amanda. Amanda and I used to go to auditions together. We would carpool to Austin for auditions together back when I was doing acting. And anyway, I'm so happy for her. I'm so proud of her. I got to reach out to her and tell her that I saw her. But I just want to share that with you guys. That's so cool. I wonder if she's in an 8 year. But that's like that type of energy. It's like you have a breakthrough, a breakout. For Luke, it's like everything he's been doing, he's breaking out. He's breaking out now. So when you're doing that, you're in a good vibe, you're pretty uplifted. It depends on their dynamic, Gunyar. Like if Antonia is already someone who's kind of behind the scenes in a supportive role, I'll be honest with you, the 7 energy might not bother him too much because maybe I don't know. I don't know. Um, but we'll see. It kind of depends on how she handles it. 7 energy can sometimes make people feel more needy if they're not aware of it because the outer world can be kind of quiet, but it's to give you time to do this. Like it's all happening for you. And if you don't know that and you're just like, "Oh, I feel like this year's going really slow," and you start to feel insecure, that can be a negative for people in relationships. It just kind of depends on her personality though. Like if she's cool with that, if she's cool with kind of being chill, then it may not even be an issue. I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, we did some pretty interesting readings last time that told us that things might not work out for them. Oh my god. Am I actually in a 4-person year? My date of birth is 12/27/1992. Okay, let me see. 9. Let's see. Okay. Yes, you are. Alex, I did it 3 times to make sure I didn't tell you the wrong thing. Yes. Okay, you really are. You really are. Uh, so, Alex, you got this. You're gonna be building that foundation. Here's the good thing, though. Let me tell you guys something else about the 4 year. We have the motivation in a 4 year. The universe isn't gonna leave us high and dry. um, you're going to have the motivation to build. You're going to have extra stamina this year to follow through. So just know you will. And if you're not feeling it quite yet, um it'll come. You will. So just don't worry about it. Um get focused on your goals. Start small, start slow. Don't try to become the most disciplined version of yourself right now. I would definitely like lay out what's most important to you. Like ask yourself, it's very much about your own intuition. Like, what are the things I would be doing right now if I really took my life seriously, in the sense that I know I can accomplish what I want to accomplish. What are the steps I would be taking, and how should I show up then based on that? How can I be brave? How can I be disciplined? How can I be strong? Like, what do I need to do? So it's sort of like thinking through and then doing it, because a lot of the time we kind of know what we want and what we should be doing, but sometimes we just don't do it for whatever reason. And the 4 year is like, this is the time to do it, and you have the strength and the stamina, and you'll thank yourself later. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Okay. Isn't Luke a 7 energy February? Okay, so for Luke is going to be in an 8 energy throughout 2026. That's his personal year number, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. Yes, I do got this. Yes, you do. And you will feel so good throughout the year as you accomplish things, as you prove to yourself that you can do, how they say, like, you can do hard things. Like as you do it though, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I feel really good about this. Like I did it. Like I said I was gonna do it and I did it. So also like celebrate those wins. Pat yourself on the back this year, you got this. Let's see. I know you guys, there's a lot of 4 energies in our tea time group and a lot of 2 energies. So it's like everybody is building. You guys are building, you're growing, you're cooperating with others, you are collaborating. You're showing up. You're showing up this year. Life is getting real and you're here for it. Okay. I want to read the Housemaid book after seeing the movie. Ooh, oh my gosh, I bet it's so good. I've seen it twice now. Oh my gosh. I know it's a series. I hope they continue it in movies. Oh, I did not know it was a series. Oh my God. Yeah, I would definitely see another one. Like, it's so good. It is so good. Okay, you guys. Well, that's like that's my little spiel. That's my overview for this evening. I am going to do another podcast episode where I am going to be talking about celebrity numerology. And if you guys have more questions, you can feel free to like drop those in the chat on the podcast episode. That should be out on Wednesday. So I'm going to say this here. And I'm going to do my best to follow through. Last year's 9 year, it was tough for me to stay on a schedule. But the 1 year, much like the 4 year, is a great year for being on a schedule. So I'm going to say this. I decided over the weekend, I was like, I think Wednesdays are like the best day for the podcast episodes to come out consistently. So look out for the Wednesday podcast episodes. Okay. 1 year energy, starting a new way of doing things. But yeah, so the celebrity numerology will be out on Wednesday, and just feel free to ask questions there, or even if you guys are watching this later when it's not live, and you want to talk about your personal year, drop it in the comments and I will come in and I'll answer it. I'll just type up my answer and other people can weigh in too, and we can all just keep chatting about this stuff because it's so fun. It's helpful when we like share our experiences and we kind of do it together, right? It's more fun to tackle these years as a group. Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried did a great job. They really did. That's what I said too. I told Michael, I was like, they are really good actresses. Like, I feel like the acting in that movie was just so good. Like everybody. And Amanda's acting especially. So proud of her. Everybody was so good. So it's a well-written movie. Amazing. You got to see it. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. You'll love it. Okay. Thank you, Heat Lifer. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope that everybody like got what they wanted and what they needed to hear out of this. Again, I'm here if you guys have any more questions. I'm obsessed with personal year numerology. It's like one of my favorite topics. So feel free to ask whatever. But I love you guys so much. Have an amazing rest of the night. Oh, thank you, Heat Lifer. Sending you love and light too. You and your daughter. Tell your daughter that the 1 year is her perfect year to make changes and that it's like in alignment with the universe. So, like, she's got this. It's divinely inspired. It's meant to be. Oh, thanks. Oh my gosh, Kay. Hi, Kay. Happy New Year. Kay, we were just getting off, but um, it's good to see you. Sending you a big hug, Kay. And all right, guys. Yes. Okay. Love y'all. Y'all are the best. Mwah, mwah. Big hugs. And I'll talk to you guys really soon. Okay. Take care. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.